Welcome back to the Historical Photos channel. Get ready to travel back in time with rare photos from around the world, full of fascinating stories. Stay until the end. You'll be amazed. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and share your thoughts in the comments. In 1945, a group of Jewish prisoners is freed from a death train. After enduring an indescribable nightmare in the concentration camps, their liberation marked a moment of hope and relief, but also profound pain for the irreplaceable losses they had suffered during the Holocaust. In 1940, Anne Frank and her sister Margot enjoy a peaceful moment at the beach. This snapshot of Anne's childhood before the dark times of World War II captures a fleeting moment of happiness and normalcy, far from the hardships that would define her life in the years to come. In 1960, Otto Frank, Anne's father, revisits the hiding place where his daughter and the family lived during World War II. This visit is filled with emotion, a reminder of the sacrifice and pain endured by his daughter, who documented her experience in the famous diary that would touch the world. In May 1922, 78-year-old Robert T. Lincoln, son of Abraham Lincoln, is helped up the steps at the dedication of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. A moment filled with emotion as the son of the former president took part in celebrating his father's legacy nearly 60 years after his death. In 1898, a group of Victorian boys smiles at the camera, a rare glimpse of joy in an era marked by rigidity and hardship. Dressed in formal attire, they seem to momentarily forget the harsh realities of child labor and life on the streets, allowing only the spontaneity of childhood to shine through. Hans Langseth, photographed in the early 20th century, held the record for the longest beard ever recorded, measuring an astonishing 5.33 meters. Born in Norway, he spent his life growing his facial hair, becoming a true legend. After his death, his beard was preserved and is now displayed at the Smithsonian Institution. In the late 1800s, an impressive Mayan zoomorphic sculpture is documented, showcasing the artistic skill and symbolism of this civilization. These carved stones, often representing gods or animal spirits, were part of sacred rituals and demonstrate the Mayans' deep connection with the spiritual world and nature. In 1947, a Japanese family reveals the scars left by the Hiroshima atomic bomb 2 years after the tragedy. Photographed in Tokyo, they stand as a living testament to the horrors of radiation and the destruction caused by the explosion, symbolizing the lasting impact of war on the lives of survivors. In 1895, 2 Armenian women pose with their rifles before heading into battle against the Ottomans. In a moment of courage and defiance, these women faced the hardships of a turbulent time, fighting for their people's survival and freedom during one of the darkest periods in history. Edward Llewellyn made history by catching the largest sea bass ever recorded, weighing an impressive 425 pounds. In an incredible display of strength and skill, he managed to land the giant fish, marking an unforgettable achievement in the world of fishing. In New York City, 1890, police officers hold a woman to take her mug shot. This procedure was common at the time, as authorities began adopting photographic methods to identify criminals. The image illustrates the transition to using photography as a police record-keeping tool. On October 29, 1929, bankrupt investor Walter Thornton attempts to sell his luxury Chrysler Imperial 75 Roadster for just $100 on the streets of New York City. This moment marks the Great Depression crisis, where many lives were drastically altered, reflecting the financial collapse that shook the world. On April 11, 1912, photographer Thomas Barker captured the only known photograph of Titanic's stern during its brief stop at Queenstown, Ireland. This area, a promenade for third-class passengers, was the last to submerge when the ship sank 3 days later, becoming a symbol of its final tragedy. In 1977, one of the last photos of Charlie Chaplin captures the legendary artist in frail health, just months before his passing. The creator of the iconic tramp character, Chaplin revolutionized silent cinema with his comedic genius and social critique. His legacy lives on, continuing to inspire generations to this day. In 1950, a new shock weapon called the pistol shot of colored lye was released in Germany. Since civilians were not allowed to carry firearms, this pistol fired a colored chemical liquid for self-defense. The invention reflected post-war restrictions and the search for non-lethal protection alternatives. In 1929 in London, 2 women are photographed minutes after voting, marking a milestone in the fight for women's rights. It was the first general election where all British women aged 21 and over could vote on equal terms with men, a historic moment symbolizing the achievement of women's participation in democracy. In 1941, a couple enjoys a peaceful day by the river. Side by side, they share a moment of closeness, embracing nature and the calm of the water. Amid the uncertainty of the time, the scene captures a fleeting moment of peace and lightness before the changes that war would bring. In 1925, a young Yamana boy poses for the camera in Argentina. With deep roots in the Patagonian region, the Yamanas were known for their ability to survive in the harsh southern climate. This image offers a rare glimpse of their culture before the modernization that would affect their traditions. In 1937, Joseph Stalin is seen holding his daughter Svetlana, a rare, intimate moment between the Soviet leader and his family. The image, full of contrast, captures the humanity of a dictator who imposed a regime of fear and repression. The child innocent appears in a time of intense political turmoil. In 1905, a group of Italian immigrants arrived in the United States seeking a better life. Many left behind the poverty and hardships of Italy, facing a long and challenging journey. Upon arriving, they were greeted by the promise of new opportunities and the American dream. In 1957, Pablo Picasso had fun creating a unique version of the famous character Popeye. In this illustration, he blends his cubist style with the sailor's look, adding an irreverent and artistic touch to the popular figure, a work that showcases the Spanish master's sense of humor and creativity. In 1945, in Hyde Park, London, an American soldier kisses his girlfriend on the grass, celebrating the joy and relief after the end of World War II. This captured moment conveys the emotion of a loving reunion, symbolizing the hope for peace and the return to daily life after years of conflict. In the 1970s, inflatable slimming shorts hit the market as a quick-fix weight loss solution. Promising to help reduce measurements fast, these products sparked great curiosity and debate about the era's dieting techniques, a trend reflecting the relentless pursuit of aesthetic perfection. In 1946, a proud father is shown his newly born triplets as nurses hold the little ones in their arms. The moment, filled with emotion and joy, captured the happiness of a growing family as love and pride overflowed from their hearts on that special day in New York. In 1914, a typical family from the Ozark Mountains in Franklin County, Arkansas, poses for a photo in front of their simple home. The image reflects rural life of the time with a wooden structure and a peaceful environment, showcasing the unity and daily efforts of a family devoted to farm life. In December 1998, Vice President Al Gore prepares to speak to White House staff after President Bill Clinton was impeached. This moment reflects the political tension in the United States as the country faced one of its most significant crises in recent history. In Belgium, around 1880, a milkman uses a dog-drawn cart to make deliveries. This method of transportation was common at the time, showcasing the ingenuity of using animals to ease daily work and urban life in 19th century European cities. In 1937, a man skates on ice wearing a smart suit. The image captures a moment of fun and sophistication, as while ice skating was popular, wearing formal attire was not typical for sports activities. It reflects a time when fashion and leisure blended in a unique way. In 1944, the Scotch Terrier Fala, President Franklin Roosevelt's beloved companion, listens attentively to the president's speech on the radio. The dog, always by Roosevelt's side, became an endearing figure and a symbol of the bond between the leader and his beloved four-legged friend. In the 1960s, Sophia Loren captured the spotlight with her iconic beauty and exceptional talent. Considered one of the greatest actresses in world cinema, her elegance and charm dominated the screens, becoming a symbol of glamour and sophistication in the film industry. In 2025, 80 years after their birth, the triplets from the original photo gather for a special picture, celebrating longevity and bonds that have stood the test of time. The image represents the beauty of life and family connection, showing how, over decades, the union remained strong despite the challenges faced. On March 19, 1967, Snowflake, the only known albino gorilla, underwent a veterinary check at the Barcelona Zoo. His rare condition drew global attention, making him one of the zoo's most popular attractions. The gorilla, who lived in captivity for many years, became an icon of exotic nature. In 1911, a rare and stunning sight occurred at Niagara Falls when extreme cold caused part of the water to freeze, creating a surreal landscape. The event, captured in historical photos, served as a reminder of nature's power and the beauty that can emerge even in the harshest conditions. In 1935, a charming woman rides her bicycle through the streets of the United States, capturing a moment of grace and simplicity. With a serene smile and elegant posture, she reflects the lifestyle of the era, where freedom and mobility merged with the fashion and charm of the pre-war period. Two young men face off in an impromptu boxing match by the railroad tracks, set against an urban yet rugged backdrop. With clenched fists and determined gazes, they reflect the struggle and resilience of an era where the street was a stage for not only disputes, but also friendships and triumphs. During World War II, an American soldier cradles an injured Japanese boy, sheltering him from the rain inside his plane while waiting for help. This moment of humanity, amid the chaos of war, highlights the power of compassion and the connection that can emerge even in the most desperate circumstances. In 1936, a drive-in restaurant in Los Angeles offers a new dining experience. With the rise of cars, customers could place their orders directly from their vehicles, an innovative concept for the time. This type of service marked the beginning of a revolution in American eating habits and car culture. In 1889, a portrait of Mormon polygamists at the Utah Penitentiary reveals the lives of men who faced the justice system due to the practice of polygamy. The photo captures a time of conflict and change when polygamy was a controversial issue for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In 1910, the Paris metro station was severely affected by the great flood that devastated the city. The Seine River overflowed, flooding streets and undergrounds, causing chaos and panic. This historical photo shows the magnitude of the disaster and how the city faced one of its worst floods in history. Elizabeth Taylor, the famous Hollywood actress, shown as Cleopatra in the epic 1963 film. Her portrayal of the legendary Egyptian queen captivated both the audience and critics, marked by a luxurious and intense aesthetic. The memorable costume and makeup completed the image of one of the most iconic figures in classic cinema. In 1867, Egyptian guides accompanied European tourists on a tour of Egypt's ancient wonders. The image reflects the traveler's fascination with the exoticism and grandeur of the pyramids and monuments, while also showcasing the meeting of distinct cultures in a unique moment in the history of tourism. In 1920, a man adjusts the gears inside Big Ben, the iconic clock of London. The photo captures the complexity and care required to maintain the clock's perfect operation, which became a symbol of the United Kingdom and its precision, with the man working inside the famous tower. In 1930, an iron worker waves to his co-worker on the 88th floor of the new Empire State Building under construction. The image reflects the courage and confidence of these workers, defying heights and danger, contributing to the creation of one of New York's greatest icons. The building would be completed the following year, in 1931. In 1910, a driver steers a Buick, one of the most innovative cars of its time. The model reflected the transition to modernity with its sophisticated design and advanced technology. The 1910s were crucial for the automobile industry, with Buick standing out as a symbol of luxury and innovation. In the 1920s, a rather curious fashion trend was knee makeup. This practice reflected the quest for an even more elegant and refined appearance, in line with the standards of the time. Women used cosmetics to smooth and highlight the area, creating a more stylish and bold look for the era. In 1938, the Forbidden City in Beijing was a majestic testament to China's imperial past. With its imposing palaces and gardens, the fortress symbolized the grandeur of the dynasties that ruled the country. Even in turbulent times, it remained a landmark of China's rich history and culture. In 1929, during an Antarctic expedition, George Black, a team member, plays with sled dog puppies, preparing them to pull a small sled. The image captures the bond between the explorers and their loyal travel companions, essential for survival in one of the harshest environments on the planet. During the 1920 Tour de France, two cyclists take a break and share a cigarette, a gesture that reflects the camaraderie and relaxed spirit of the time. Even in a fierce competition, the scene showcases the simplicity and challenges faced by athletes who, like many, sought small moments of relief. In 1873, the Prince of Naples, later King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy, holds a picture of his grandfather, Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of unified Italy. The image reflects the deep connection between generations of the royal family and the country's history, a symbolic moment for Italy's monarchy at the time. During the Chinese Revolution of 1911, Liu Fuji and Peng Chufan were killed, and their deaths were used as a symbol of the power of the revolutionary forces. This event reflected the intensity and challenges of the transition period, marking the end of the Qing dynasty and the beginning of a new era in Chinese history. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to support our work. I separated 2 videos for you to continue diving into the story. See you in the next video.